Hey you fellas, Nick here. Now, I'm not one to be negative, but holy shit, I cannot finish that sentence. I love being negative. It's the only way for me to keep mentally stable. For example, this game stings. This company bites. This game reeks. And this game. Let's talk about this game.
Roblox. Yeah, I haven't said those syllables in a while. Last time I did a taste test of this game, I looked at Project Lazarus in 2021.
Some may call it my Peach Fuzz era. I prefer the term bad.
Now, keep in mind, Roblox itself is not a game, but a game creation tool, where users can make their own games. It has some original games, but most of them tend to be downgraded remakes of games that you find elsewhere. This may look nothing like GTA 5, but think of how much money I saved playing it on Roblox. One of these Roblox games is Flee the Facility. Released in 2017, this game is all about survivors hacking computers to open a vault door, while the beast chases them down and sticks them in freeze pods until another player helps them. That's the simple breakdown of the gameplay, at least. What, do you want to see me do an hour-long rant about the mechanics of this game?
Don't fucking test me. I'm the best at ranting. I can piss out rants in my sleep. And it's not as nice as you think it is. What's rubbing me funny? Oh, god damn it.
Ever since release, Flee the Facility has exploded. It's a game people love on Roblox. It was nominated for 3 Bloxy Awards in 2017, 2 awards in 2018, 20,000 followers on Twitter, over 1 million members in his Roblox group, and nearly 4 billion visits, all from just one little idea he had.
And to anyone who thinks it's a clone of Dead by Daylight, there's a real simple explanation for that. You see, I traveled forwards in time, stole the idea, and then went back to the past. It's a perfect plan!
So, yeah, Dead by Daylight came out for PC a year before Flee the Facility. It's way more fleshed out, with much more interesting additions to the gameplay. And now you might be thinking, oh wow, Nick, they can't be that similar. Surely there's major obvious gameplay differences to separate the game. You're fixing generators instead of hacking computers, and survivors are hooked instead of frozen on freeze pods.
So, overall, I'm not saying that Flee the Facility copied Dead by Daylight. I'm gonna write it instead.
But you see, the Dead by Daylight clones go deeper, because Roblox developers say Flee the Facility, and then they make a clone of that game.
It's like getting stabbed with a knife, and then getting stabbed with a golden knife. You see, that makes it unique.
Take, for example, the game Captive. The survivors go to computers and they hack them to open big doors, while the beast chases you down and puts you in freeze pods. This sounds so familiar to a game I was talking about 3 seconds ago.
I know Madden 10 when I see it.
Now, considering this is a game that got double clones of fucking Roblox of all places, do you think this is good? Do you think the game not only copied the source material, but made it a superior game?
I can smell it in the air. The outlier alarm is gonna go off any second now, because this game defies expectations and, to me, is actually better than Flee the Facility.
When I first played Captive, one of the main differences I noticed was the way that each game presents itself in its artistic direction. When you join in a game of Captive, you are immediately greeted with an expansive room with objects oddly strewn about. Ladders and pipes everywhere, a little spleef minigame connected by large vents propped open, shipping containers hang in the air, vines are overgrown, all with light fog sitting in the moonlight. Flee the Facility is a fucking log cabin with rocks around. You can't tell me this is interesting in the slightest to look at. After months of research, I've finally figured out what's wrong with Dead by Daylight.
Not enough cabins.
Also, I played in mid-July and it was still snowing out from the winter event. The winter event was over, so you put in the effort to end the event, but not to make the map look normal. What was the point of that? Another small thing I noticed was the lobby music. Captive is this quiet, somber tune. And then Flee the Facility has this generic song. Enough staring at the lobbies though, what are the actual gameplay differences?
You see, in one of them, you're playing Flee the Facility. In the other, you're playing Captive.
But also another big difference is the power-up system, the main thing being that the beast finally has multiple power-ups. Flee the Facility came out in 2017 and the only power-up has been faster walk speed. Captive has all these available right out of the gate, and survivors have unique power-ups. The survivor's default power-up is pretty lame though, like, ooh, I can open doors silently.
Who gives a shit? This changes nothing. I'm not playing as the beast, listening for when the doors are gonna open. The sound isn't even that noticeable. So, overall, I just don't care.
Also, the beast power-up is just the Flee the Facility one, so again, Captive is clearly cloned in sometimes many obvious ways, but makes good changes in others. One of my favorite things that's happened is the beast gameplay changes. Flee the Facility made it so that the beast can't crouch and go into vents, but also the walk speed is slower down considerably for jumping. I don't get why. In Captive, not only can you jump like a normal person, but you also have these big vents that the Beast can open. Now, as the Beast, your main goal is to trap players in freeze pods. In Flee the Facility, when you've hit a person, the game physically freezes you in place, completely stopping the momentum of the game. Then you have to not use the interact button, but instead left click on the person and run to a freeze pod. Then you gotta find the right freeze pod. All these icons are the exact same size, so you might go to one that's 17,000 miles away. And then finally, you press E to trap. In Captive, you hit the person, you're allowed to move after you swing the hammer, press E to grab survivors, the HUD shows you're grabbing somebody, and then you press E to trap.
So overall, Flee the Facility is a game that can be fast-paced and intense, but decides to make the game slower for the Beast, because fuck you, that's why. In Captive, the momentum of the gameplay is kept up. The Beast is always going to be around the corner, just waiting to make your day a whole lot worse.
As for extensions to Survivors, there's the power-ups, but there's also new things to hack the computers with. In Flee the Facility, press E when red, touch white. In Captive, there's the one for Flee the Facility, pressing E a certain amount, pressing E when the light turns green, and mashing E to fill the meter before the time runs out. All this gameplay variation makes the boring gameplay of into something actually engaging in a way. Also, you can stuff yourself inside of a locker instead of it just being a block you can walk through and Flee the Facility. I'll give it the same response I use when I get clothes as gifts.
Thanks?
So overall, playing as the Beast is more fair, you can actually jump like a normal person, and the Survivor has actually more to do than... Let's move on to maps, since it's now easier to understand why the maps are good when you understand the gameplay that revolves around them. Both these games have a large selection of maps, because if you don't, then do you even exist?
Stalin never had a huge selection of maps, and he fucking died!
Counting it all up, Flee the Facility made 9 maps and 1 remake in 6 years. Captive made 6 maps in 4 years, the same amount Flee the Facility had when it was 4 years old. So the quantity of maps is all good. Apparently, Captive had tons more maps that were scrapped for not having the Beast-only events, but I couldn't find a definitive number on that. The thing is, the 5th map was added for the 1 billion visits update, and Captive has had 5 maps with just under 50 million visits. One game has 20 times more visits than the other, and the bigger one barely has any updates. Like, come on, 2019 and 21 had no maps released. How the hell is this game even alive? Now onto the maps themselves. If you like the color brown, then do I have the game for you? The only map from Flee the Facility that's kind of memorable is Facility Zero, the original map, because it's just not boring and depressing. What else is there? Abandoned Prison, Abandoned Facility, it's a remake, Homestead, the one nobody picks, Airport, the one everyone picks, Forgotten Facility, the Library, and Haunted Mansion. A lot of these look like shade of brown with fog on it, to be honest. There is something wrong with this fog. It starts way too close to the character, and it's just too much to be able to see whatever's going on all too well. In Captive, it looks to me like they ditched having fog and made it so your body has a small light source in a fully dark map. It's hard to explain how this is different. I just like how Captive did it. As for small things that I liked, the Backrooms map was cute for having fake doors that go nowhere. Imagine you're running from the Beast, go up to the door, but all they have is this absolutely terrifying face behind them.
Can you tell I pissed myself?
Something that I feel holds back some of the maps of Flee the Facility is the large use of hallways all the time. There's lots of open rooms, but with maps like Facility Zero and Abandoned Prison, it's just a ton of unremarkable hallways stacked together in a line. Switch over to Captive with a map like Arcade, you'll see it's very small and very open. There's a roof of computers, and a hole to get the jump on players, and a whole outside area that's completely open. This openness gives an advantage to both players, because now survivors have more reaction time, and the Beast is able to run right at them with the runner power-up. Couple that with it being a tiny map, essentially just a square, and it makes the game hectic. And I want hectic. This game is fun when it's incredibly tense, and you have no clue if you're making it out alive or not, compared to Flee the Facility making the Beast unable to move for 12 years after hitting one singular person with the hammer. This gets 20,000 concurrent players. I can understand people liking bigger maps. I mean, it makes sense to do that. There's more to explore. But small maps like School and Arcade are fun because there's always something going on. You can only go so big until a game with 5 players starts feeling way too empty and boring. The map themes are much more generalized than Flee the Facility, but I think they have much more to run with. Space station, farm, school, prison, train station, arcade. Now, would I call them scary? Yeah, I'll be the first person brave enough to say it. Neither of these games are that scary, but Flee the Facility feels like it's trying to be scary, like, oh no, there's red eyes, it's all rusty and run down, we're in a fucking airport! I died of fear when I saw that. Captive never feels like it's trying to be scary, it's just locations to survive in. While it is up to debate for which game looks better, I like Captive's art style.
Flee the Facility has amazing brick building, don't get me wrong. Please don't.
But there's a certain thing that I just like with Captive, and it's more mesh-based maps. Maybe Flee the Facility's brick building would look good if it wasn't drowned out by this ugly brown fog overlaid on it all.
So overall, I like Captive for its lobby, its maps, its power-ups, its gameplay. What don't I like about this game? Oh, right. The name has 7 letters.
But another really big issue with the game as a whole is that it feels like one big cash grab. Like, yeah, it's cool that there's all these new power-ups you could unlock, but you'll have to grind for cash, or even pay Robux for some of them. Oh man, I can't wait to take my Earth money, make it into stupid video game money, and turn it into a power-up so short I could cough for longer. 800 Robux and you're invisible.
Ooh?
For 3 seconds.
Oh.
There's a battle pass called the Beast Pass. Level up tiers and get Beast Coins. The tiers and level system are completely different because sure, the Beast Coins can be used in the Beast Shop to buy Mr. Beast loot boxes. I don't get the point of this entire section. It's not a pass for the Beast since you can get things for the Beast in the regular shop. It's just a place for a second currency to just exist in this game. There needs to be something more interesting to earn here. I just don't get why it's here.
I'll tell you how to fix it right now. When you get to tier 300, you get the legal right to kill a single person.
There's loot boxes in the store too, ranging from Camden, New Jersey to Jeff Bezos. Bundles with multiple weapons! I always wanted to kill a man with Capri Sun. You can pick the color you glow, hammer particles, titles, title colors. I feel like my money's being stolen just looking at this shop. While the game is good, it feels scummy when the game is just such a cash grab in spots like these.
Overall, I like Captive. Putting aside all the money-hungry garbage available in the game, it does a lot of stuff that I wish Flee the Facility was doing. Really, the most important thing that Flee the Facility can do is just make it so that there can be more content, more updates. There's probably so many people that want to help add more content to Flee the Facility. I mean, can you really blame them when they go and make their own game fixing everything they wanted? But hey, at least these Roblox games were free. All that time I spent not spending money means that I can afford a trip to the doctors now. So the results of my checkup came back in, and it turns out the reason why I'm so negative is because I have something called gameritis. I just have to play less video games and I'll be able to say positive words again. Sure. Other than that, I did pretty good. Wait, they left a footnote. Pissing out rants in your sleep may be linked to a urinary tract infection. Oh, god damn it!